Hello, everyone. If you've been joining us for our CALM conference sessions, welcome back. If this is the first one you've been able to join, welcome. And be sure to get the replays on anything you may have missed. Now, all throughout November, the U.S. Family Caregiver Support Center is celebrating you and National Family Caregiver Month with its CALM Caregivers Are Learning More conference. I'm Paulina Milana, here to guide you through all of our incredible sessions that speak to this year's theme of the art of balance. This is the 24th year that the Los Angeles Caregiver Resource Center is presenting its special suite of events, meeting family caregivers wherever you may be in your caregiver journey and helping you navigate your path with tools, education, support services, and so much more. I encourage you to explore what we have to offer by visiting our website, and you'll see the URL on the screen, losangelescrc.usc.edu. Now, today's session is all about balancing work and play and finding our flow. We have so much incredible content today. We hope we can get it all done in the 2 hours. We've got experts, Michelle Kolb, who's the Moondog Motion owner, and we have Patrick LoSasso, who is strength and conditioning trainer and owner of Smart XPD. They are going to get us moving literally with take action strategies. We'll hear from them in a minute, along with our family caregiver authors, Wendy Lou Toda, Tanya Mills, and Terry Wellbrock. Now, a couple of little housekeeping notes here. We will take questions at the end, so we want you to jot them down on paper or put them in the chat, and then we'll make sure that we address them. Also, remember, the family caregivers on all of our sessions, each one had the courage to author a chapter in a book called The Caregiver Chronicles. You'll see it over my shoulder. If you want to get a free copy, the Los Angeles Caregiver Resource Center is helping to make that possible. Now, all you need to do is something that maybe sounds a little complicated, but it's really not. You'll see the information right there on the screen. If you go to your social media pages, so your Instagram, your Facebook, your Twitter, or X, go ahead and invite people to register and come to our sessions. You also could just share some valuable tidbit, some gem that you hear throughout any of the sessions. And you want to tag us, and then you want to email a screenshot of what you posted to the email address you see on the screen, lacrc-com@usc.edu. And we'll put you into our drawing for a free book. Now, as we get started, we're actually going to definitely get to moving. But before we do that, we're going to get grounded. And to help us do that, one of our family caregiver authors, Wendy Lou Toda, is going to take us through a 5-minute moment to allow us to give ourselves permission to be present and to participate fully during this session. Wendy?
Hello. So I'd like to invite you to just make fists, like make fists and make them as tight as you can. And imagine all that you hold as a caregiver. And we hold a lot, right? Okay, so clench that tight. Now, I'm going to ask you to open your hands and just rub them together, rub the front and back of your hands, shake them out, wiggle your fingers. Okay, now put your hands in your lap and just let them rest there just for a moment while I read this poetic visualization and invitation to you. You can close your eyes or you can let your gaze be softly downward, whatever you're most comfortable with. This is an invitation for us. We who give and give our lives over days, weeks, years, weary and worn hearts, bravely full of determined love, balancing on the tightrope of caregiving, holding so much, so tight, because we must. If not us, then who? But what if we allowed our hands to relax just the tiniest bit? Nothing dramatic, doesn't have to be big. Maybe uncurl a finger or two. Let a few things drop away like so many stones, landing far below just for now. And look, there's a little bit of space for breath to come, touching our palms with kindness, with rest so needed yet forgotten. What if we allowed this lightness, this welcome that comes to us now, joyfully compassionate, inviting us to play, inviting us to remember we can?
Love it, love it, love it. That's awesome. And we will make sure that everyone gets a copy of that poem. Wendy, you are such a talented artist. Thank you so much. And we will hear from Wendy as well as Terry and Tanya in a couple of minutes, our family caregiver authors. But first, a quick question for everyone. We're going to put it on the screen. Everyone who's listening, watching, we want you to type the word me in the chat if you've ever been told, you just need to be a little more positive, right? Ugh, I know I have. And that's not necessarily helpful when you're juggling so many things, right? And trying to find your balance. Now, what if you were told that there are actionable strategies that are really helpful, right? And that is what we are going to be giving you today. So, to start off, what we want to do is introduce our family caregiver authors to you and have them kind of talk a little bit about what they find helpful in their caregiver journeys when it comes to trying to get that balance. So they're going to introduce themselves. They'll tell you a little bit about their stories, the chapters that they wrote in the Caregiver Chronicles, and then whatever they would like to make sure we know works for them and may work for us in terms of finding balance. So I will open the floor to Tanya Mills, Wendy Lutoda, and Terry Welbrock.
My name is Tanya Mills, and my chapter was about regret, guilt, sadness, of all the things that I didn't do when caring for my mom, who passed away in November of 2022. For me, finding balance, especially in the beginning, it was very difficult. It was really difficult for me. And as time went on, I knew I had to find a way to find that balance. So I love music and I love dancing. It makes me super happy, fills me with joy, makes me feel free. So what I did is I started turning on music when I was in the kitchen, preparing food, going through my mail, and I danced. Yes, I danced in my kitchen. It really helped me release pent up emotion that I really didn't even know I had. And it created joy in that very moment. I also had a happy playlist, which I would play on mornings when I was feeling sad or depressed, or woke up feeling super stressed. And I chose songs that made me happy, wanted to tap my feet and to sing along with that music, like Uptown Funk and Happy and We Are Family. It reminded me that I would not always feel the way that I was feeling in those moments, and that I was able to find emotional release by taking just a few moments to allow myself to feel the music and just let go. Now, I live in Texas, and so when the temperature is right, I loved taking a few moments to go outside, listen to the birds, feel a breeze. I'd close my eyes, I'd listen to the trees and the wind. I'd take a few deep breaths in with the good and out with the bad. And this calmed me and actually helped me to get focus and balance.
So I'm Wendy. And I am a poet and a coach and an artist and a facilitator, and I roll all that into various things. And I'm a primary caregiver for my 92 and 93-year-old parents. Um, and so my chapter is all poetry because it helps me to just name my experience through that kind of creative process. Um, and I also help other people do that too. So my best practice really, it's not so much the actual play because once I'm there, I have a great time. But for me, it's about the permission thing, about letting myself go there. So my best practice is to schedule it. And it sounds counterintuitive to be disciplined about play, but that's what I have to do. So I have a daily alarm on my phone that says play break. And then I have a list of things I can do that get me kind of out of my head and back into my body. And because in the moment, the alarm may ring and I may think, I have no idea what to do. So let's see what else. Yeah, so it just helps me reintegrate my whole self because I can get very stuck in my head with caregiving. So it just helps me become a whole person again when I can integrate like that. So that's mine. Schedule it.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. I am Terry Wellbrock, and I host the Healing Place podcast, which is globally. I just found out it's now been downloaded in 142 countries around the world. And my mission in life is really to shine a light of hope into the lives of those who are on a healing journey. And my growing up with an alcoholic parent, I wrote chapter 21, The Addicted Angel. My mom was such a sweet, loving soul, kindest little person I'd ever met until you added vodka, and then not so sweet. So we went on a beautiful healing journey together, and she became my best friend in those last few years of her life. She passed on my birthday, 2023, and really it was a beautiful transition. She was in hospice. For me, I talk to my podcast audience a lot about building a coping skills toolbox. So I love learning new things and putting it into my toolbox. But my favorite go-to, and I find it play is mindfulness practice because I go out in nature and nature is so very healing. But I'm that lady that will literally sing to the little lizards and talk to the butterflies. And I find so much joy in a sunset. Like I will literally scare my family sometimes because I'll go, and I'll like gasp and they're like, what? Thinking a deer's jumping across the road. And I'm like, look at the beautiful sunset. So there's just that to me is play because it's a mindset. If you can see my little sign next to me that says choose happy. I literally have made that a point in my life to choose happy, to make an effort to, yes, stop when I see a beautiful tree and literally put my hand on it and tell the tree, oh my gosh, you're beautiful. And to just take that mindful moment to let its strength, its energy come into me, its roots in the ground, that grounding work. I don't know. It's just a beautiful practice to be more in the now, in the moment, and enjoy life. So thank you.
Wow. I love it. I'm sure all of you listening love it. Put into the chat what you think about just a few of these little tidbits, these little gems that have been shared with us. I am going to now ask our family caregiver authors. They're going to actually join in on screen alongside our experts here as they take us through their sessions. And we're going to start out with Patrick first. He's going to introduce himself a little bit. This is his first segment. He'll have two. And he is going to take us through some pretty incredible stuff. I saw Patrick, loved what he had to offer, and that's how he got here, so we could offer it to all of you. So I'm going to go away and take it away, Patrick.
Okay, thank you, Paulina. So I'll just, before I get into my little spiel that I wrote up to talk about. When I was listening to the authors, it reminded me of of a foundational moment I had when I was trying to figure out my style of exercise, and I was working with a 92-year-old woman, and I used to work these. I still use them. They're like soccer-sized Nerf balls, and we were getting ready. She was sitting in the chair, and I reached down, I grabbed the ball, and I just, without telling her, I tossed it to her, and she caught it, and she smiled, and something in that moment stuck with me. And as I thought about it, I realized that in that moment, she executed some very important components of function, which is a big part of what I work on in the community I serve. She reached out, she executed balance, even though she was in the chair. She executed eye tracking, fine motor, movement initiation. And I mean, she was 92 years old. At some point in her life, somebody stopped throwing her balls, but she caught the ball like she had been on the playground the day before. And she smiled. And so for me, that was the moment that I realized exercise needs to be fun. The word exercise conjures up all these images that we get because of advertising of people drenched in sweat on the treadmill. Nobody's going to like that. So I hope what you experience with my work here today is that it's got to be fun. It's got to have meaning. It's got to be more than exercise. Otherwise, people aren't going to come back. So fun and play, I'm realizing as we're sitting here and I've been working on this presentation, whatever, has always been so important and such an important part of my work and how I've approached it. So when Pauline asked me to join this program, I was hesitant at first because I wasn't certain I had the right training, the right experience, the right concepts to make the time you're being asked to spend with me worth it. As described, I'm a personal trainer who's been working with people with Parkinson's for 20 years. And in 2005, I met Joe. Joe had an atypical form of Parkinson's. He was stubborn, cranky, and to this day, probably one of my most difficult clients. But I quickly became very fond of him. And when we met, what I knew about Parkinson's was that Michael J. Fox had it, and Muhammad Ali had it, and they both shook. Don't worry, I know a bit more about it today. I wanted to make life better for Joe, so I immersed myself in the study of the disease. There's, of course, much more to this story, which I won't go into now, but as I struggled with my hesitation in participating today, I reflected upon the journey of my career, and I decided I'd try to provide something of value, to give my take on the theme, all work and no play. I would argue, regardless of our age or station in life, we all need time for play. From the beginning of my baptism by fire, which is what it was with Joe, it dawned on me that as I struggled to manage both Joe's motor and non-motor symptoms, my work was more successful and easier when I also included and consulted with his lovely wife and care partner, Lee. Creating a team is so important, and I soon realized that if Lee was going to be an effective care partner or team player, she needed to make her mental and physical health a priority as well. Now, I have an online community. We do Zoom classes. I've got exercise equipment and DVD. But since COVID, I've started doing virtual stuff. And we have a discussion group. And coincidentally, with my online community, I've been exploring the concept of combining the power of positive thinking with positioning and movement. I had a hunch that exploring the power of the mind, deepening our appreciation for it, and bearing witness to it would serve as a source of strength and inspiration. A few examples of the power of the brain, when I was thinking about this, that immediately occurred to me was the placebo effect. Placebo, the word is of Latin origin and means I shall please. It is when a person's health improves after taking a pill or receiving a treatment that has no actual therapeutic benefit. But a beneficial change does occur. Typically, it's just temporarily. But to me, this really demonstrates the brain's power. And shouldn't that be something we should try to harness? The other example that occurred to me as I was thinking about this stuff was Simone Biles. With 12 Olympic and 32 World Championship medals, she is the most decorated gymnast in the history and considered the greatest gymnast of all time. But while in Tokyo in 2020, she chose to withdraw from the finals because she was suffering from what they called the twisties. Despite the fact that her physical body had the coordination, strength, power, balance, and capability to perform a flawless routine, she needed to attend to her mental health to gain control and redirect the power of her brain. The stress of the sport was too great, but she eventually returned and conquered that moment and earned a bronze on the balance beam. So today I want to humbly explore the concept of positive thinking with you. I don't have all the answers. I'm not here to tell you how to think or what you should be doing because I'm not sure I know. I just know that the way we look at things and think about things matters. So, through my 20 years of working with both care partners and people with Parkinson's, I've discovered some crumbs that might lead to a trail, might start us out on a path. And also, a lot of the ideas I want to share with you aren't mine. They came from my community. I want to make sure I make that clear. I don't want to take credit for a lot of this. A lot of it was poetic, a lot of it was inspirational, and a lot of it came from my online community, just people like us. So it's generally accepted, and this was actually said before, I'm glad it was said, it's generally accepted that staying positive in the face of adversity is probably a good thing. The often heard word of advice, you need to stay positive. May be true, but it is indeed not actionable, and even I'd posit dismissive or insulting. So fortuitously, as I've been saying, I recently decided to harness the creative minds of my online discussion group. We began to brainstorm on and share what we found to be actionable strategies that can help lead to a better place. Many times, small things. Many constructive ideas, thoughts, patterns, affirmations, and activities that we found to help were shared. Things that we could do, think, or say, or visualize that might serve as building blocks for the foundation of a more positive outlook. I'm going to share some of these now, and I hope you'll consider them in the spirit as intended. Some of these may help, some may not. Your individual journey is unique and different from anyone else's. The only thing we truly have in common is that we all have a journey. After this, we're going to do some movement, and I'll share my 5 scoops of ice cream, stretch, and story that may offer some perspective and help us feel more comfortable making ourselves a priority. Yes, 5 scoops of ice cream. I'm like the personal trainer who talks about icing on the cake, 5 scoops of ice cream, delicious stuff. So we will begin by sitting up tall in a strong posture. And if you just tell yourself to sit up tall and in a strong posture, a lot of this is going to take care of itself. And I want you to breathe. And I invite you, if you want to, I love that instruction to either close your eyes or glance gently down. What a great way to put it. I'm taking that one. So these are some of the affirmation thoughts and perspective shifts that some claimed helped. At times, our internal dialogue can be unnecessarily self-critical. We need to stop that. It's not your fault. It's not his or her fault. I will be kind to myself. I will be kinder to myself. I will be a good friend to myself. I will not turn against myself. The phrase, it's a process, can feel trite. Replace it with, it's my journey. There will always be something that impacts your outlook. A truth of life is that we will always hurt, both physically and mentally. It's easy to notice hurt. It easily becomes our prime focus. But we need to notice when we feel good too. It takes work and attention, but don't let those moments simply escape. Be present in those feel good or happy moments. Immerse yourself in them. Don't let them go uncelebrated. And the last thought of this section was be open to the kindness of strangers. So those are the kind of thoughts and affirmations, but I wanted to get into some actions that were shared as well that had helped. And some of them we've heard already here today. Make a happy song list that you can play, dance to it, or just listen. Find or create your happy place in your home, a park bench, a beach, not one that's too far that you can visit often. Create your happy place. Accept that there are things that we can't change. Acceptance can be the beginning of your journey to a better place. Practice meditation. If you've never done it, there are many apps that can guide you. I love this one. Create your favorite hour. Something you do that you look forward to every week for 1 hour. It could be anything. Find it, schedule it, commit to it. Hug someone you love. Hug someone you just like. Hugs help. Think of exercise as play, as an escape that restores. Count your blessings and spend time with them. We all have unwritten rules on how we're supposed to behave, of how we're supposed to act, of how we're supposed to think. We all have these. Challenge these rules in a positive way. Seek out laughter. Seek out humor. And lastly, we will discuss in my following movement session this topic. Strengthen your posture. Understand your posture and face the challenges of your day from a strong posture. So those are the thoughts I've collected. And now we're going to do what you've all been waiting for, 5 scoops of ice cream. Stretch, what is 5 scoops of ice cream? Oh, all right. So part of this, I also don't want to take credit for. I'm going to push back here, and we're going to do this 5 scoops of ice cream. So during COVID, I attended let me just push back and start. I attended a memorial service, and the rabbi told a story. And I'm going to relate that story here and apply it to the 5 scoops of ice cream. What I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to open your hands up wide, and I'm going to have you stretch forward as if you're leaning across the counter and telling the person that is working there that today is the day that you're going to treat yourself to 5 scoops of ice cream. You're going to sit back up, you're going to tap your fingertips twice, and you're going to stretch forward with the other hand. As you reach back behind you with that same hand, telling the person standing respectfully 6 feet in line behind you that today's the day you're having 5 scoops of ice cream. Sit up. Tap the fingertips twice and back and forth. This is the movement. Really take your time, stretch, reach, come forward from the hip. And as you sit up, see if you can guide your fingertips together to tap them. The first tap is the test. The second tap is the correction. Now stretch forward the other way. So the rabbi related this story about this couple that went out to lunch at a deli. And they sat down and they pulled out the menus. And the husband said, I'm going to have the corned beef sandwich today. And the wife said to the husband, honey, there are too many calories in that corned beef sandwich. You should have the chicken soup. Well, the husband begrudgingly relented and had the chicken soup. Sadly, the very next day, he passed away. And the wife was riddled with guilt because she had deprived him of the simple joy of that corned beef sandwich. Now, none of us know when our number's up. Not every day. Maybe not even every week. But every so often, you treat yourself to whatever it is. For me, it's the 5 scoops of ice cream. Make yourself a priority. Splurge on yourself. And find the time to manufacture a little joy. this is the no money stretch. And hopefully they didn't do this after lunch. No money. So that's my first section. Are we good on time? I'll hand it off to who's next, unless you want me to continue.
I love it, Patrick. I mean, you are so much fun. You are my kind of trainer. You bring ice cream. You bring, I understand, cake. This is my kind of trainer. So much that you brought up, even placebo. I shall please. I never heard of that before. Drop into the chat if there's a lot of little gems that you heard here, and don't forget, put it on your social media page. Right, drive people to us. This is golden stuff. And Patrick, this was awesome. Can't wait for your next session. Now, we're going to actually ask another question before we bring Michelle on. Of all the people who are on our session today. So type me in the chat if you've ever put on music just to play, and or type me in the chat if you like to dance, even if you have two left feet. That's me. I just won't do it in public. So, all right, go ahead and tell us in the chat. And now what we're going to do is bring on for her first session, Michelle. She is a beam of light, as you can see, brightens up every room that she enters, including a Zoom room. So go ahead, Michelle, introduce yourself and take us through your first segment.
Hey, hi everybody. I'm Michelle. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself before I get started. It is very weird just seeing myself. I wish I could see you guys. I was a dancer my whole life, and I danced in ballet companies, and I finished off my career in a modern dance company. And I needed a lot of healing emotionally and physically because of that lifestyle. And part of that healing for me was to heal other people because that made me feel really good. So I was inspired to teach a dance class for people that have Parkinson's disease. And that became a passion of mine and like a new purpose because I felt like my identity was gone, and it's just so important to me. And then I was asked to teach Alzheimer's and dementia classes and stroke recovery classes and just senior classes. And I started doing workshops where it would be a support group, like women that were going through cancer treatment. We could do writing exercises and then dance it out. So dance and music is my whole thing. And I just find it really healing for myself. And I think for everyone, a lot of you have said that. Music already, so you get it. I became a Reiki practitioner. I became a Pilates instructor because I needed to heal my own body, and I really enjoyed healing other people as well and getting people to be strong. During COVID, I felt like there was nothing I could do to help my Alzheimer's and dementia students that were taking my classes, because Zoom does not work for that. It's all about touch and eye contact and just so much focused attention that Zoom would not work for it. And I just kept thinking that there are caregivers that now are taking care of possibly a child going to work and caring full time for someone that has Alzheimer's or dementia. So all I can think of doing was teaching other people how to do what I did. And so I made a course for dancers that can teach this kind of class in their own communities. And I made a course for caregivers that's a little simpler, that just uses some of the ideas that I use in class a lot. And then, as life would have it, I returned home after COVID, and a student of mine who had been taking my Parkinson's dance class for a really long time, she couldn't come to class anymore. And her husband was going crazy because she had had mouth cancer and couldn't take medication or food orally. He could barely understand what she was saying. She had Parkinson's. She was getting the dementia related to Parkinson's. And he asked me if I would be a part-time caregiver for her. So it's just wild that I ended up here on this meeting, because now I feel like I have a whole different perspective of what that means. Even though I wasn't the 24-hour caregiver, I sort of did everything I could to bring in every tool that I had to bring joy into this woman's life who had very little reason to have a lot of joy. And in caring for her, I realized I was also caring for her husband just as much because he did no self-care. So we got him working out, we changed his diet, he started surfing, went on trips with his daughter, started going out with friends, and then he'd come back and he had so much energy to give to her and was happy to see his wife again. So that's a little bit about me and how I ended up here. I wanted to talk about music in particular, because when we're doing self-care, we're essentially trying to, oh, it's so nice to see faces. We're essentially trying to change how we feel. We're either trying to get rid of stuff or we're trying to fill ourselves up so we have something to give to the people that we need to take care of, or just life. And music is the fastest way, like you guys know because I've heard you talking about it, to change your state and to change your physiology like so quickly. And I've just found nothing else works like it. And I was at home over COVID with my parents, and they were sitting just like watching TV, like we all do, just sit and watch TV. And then one of those infomercials came on with the like 40s, 50s, 60s, like all the CDs, and they were up dancing and laughing and smiling. And it was so heartwarming to see that, because they are the type of people that just sit and watch TV. And this is always available to us. I know it, people know it, and we just don't do it. Now I put music on in the morning and I dance with my partner and my dog before he goes to work and at night, and it just changes everything. So I wanted to do a little bit dealing with music. And when we talk about using music, it's really important to find your perfect music. So sometimes we just need to get sadness out. And you can decide to put on your favorite sad song that you know all the words to and just cry. And then you feel better. And it's kind of like, okay, I did that. Now I can go do this. And sometimes you don't want to deal with that at all. And you just want to be energized and happy. And you want to put on your favorite song. And I can't remember who it was, that's Tanya maybe, that said you just dance all the time. And dance around like crazy in your house, like nobody is watching, and sing the words, and you will change like that. It lasts for different amounts of periods of time, but you'll feel really great, or you'll get something out very, very quickly. And that is something I do in all of my classes. I make sure I ask them what their favorite songs are, and I make sure I play them, particularly with the Alzheimer's classes, because they can waken out of a sleep and start dancing and singing, and it's wild. So what am I would like to, I'm not sure time-wise, but I would like to just do something, because people get a little nervous dancing. So I figure, just to break the ice, I want everybody to just sit in their chair, and we're gonna shake our bodies for 3 counts. And then on the 4th count, we're gonna scream as loud as possible and go towards the camera. So we're gonna do that 4 times. So we're just gonna go 1, 2, 3. Ah!
Ah!
Thank you. 1, 2, 3. Ah!
Ah!
1, 2, 3. Ah!
Ah!
Last one. 1, 2, 3. Ah!
Ah!
You feel a little bit better, and you use your voice. And it's silly, so now we can break the ice and be dancing together, and it'll be okay. Another thing that I really love to do is stretching. So in my classes in particular, I will do much more stretching than this. We're just going to do 1. But just to get into the body, it uses the breath, like Wendy was talking about, posture, like Patrick was talking about, all of these things. And so I'm just going to talk you through sending your legs out a little bit wide. And we're going to just take one hand on our knee. The other hand is going to lift up. We're going to inhale and just yawn through the body and stretch and try to touch that opposite wall. Exhale as you're here. Take another nice inhale. And then as you exhale, pull your belly in to pull yourself back up. Now we're going to inhale the other side over. And you would be doing to this to beautiful music that you love, and it's so much more fun than my voice. And take an exhale. And inhale, stretch a little further. And as you exhale, pull your belly in and come back up. Now I just want you to get as tight as you possibly can. And then stretch and get as big as you can. Legs, arms, reach, 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 reach. And in. And stretch as big as you can. And in. Last one. We're just going to put our fingers together. Send the fingers forward. Draw the shoulder blades down, lifting the arms up. And then open the chest, lift your chest all the way up to the ceiling. I feel a little bit more in my body now. One stretch also that I had to do because of the leaning over all day. I don't know if you guys have this problem when you were taking care of someone. I had to come home and lay on a foam roller, put my arm behind a door, something to treat my spine to make sure it still remembered to go the other way, because it was always like that. That was one thing that I was so important, because then all of a sudden you get like this, and that's no good as we get older. Thank you for doing that. Now, what we're going to do is we are just going to improvise. So I'm going to we're going to put a really sad, slow song. And you're just going to move around, making sure we can see as much of you as possible, however you want to move to this music. And if you feel very uncomfortable, you can just sway or close your eyes. And I invite everybody that's on here to join us as well. And just move however you want. Then we're going to put on a really fast, upbeat song, and we're going to dance like crazy doing that. So let's start with the first song. It's Just Hold On. And if you hate dancing, improving, you can follow whatever I do if that helps. Thank you. Thank you so much for doing that with me. Now we're going to put on a really fast, fun song, and I want you to dance around like nobody's watching, and nobody is watching any of us. So let's play, just kidding, dance like nobody's watching.
I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching. Don't really care if my rhythm's off, 'cause I'm gonna dance like nobody's watching me. I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching. Don't really care if my rhythm's off, 'cause I'm gonna dance like nobody's watching me. I'm gonna dance, 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 dance. I'm gonna dance, 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 dance. I'm gonna dance, dance, dance like nobody's watching me. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance. I've been trying to cope since you ran away. I've been feeling lost, I've been feeling pain. And no matter what I do, I just feel like I do what I do for you. I tried to call the doctor, it didn't help. Took a trip back to the sun to revive myself. But no matter what I do, I just feel like I do what I do for you. I'm gonna dance, 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 dance. I'm gonna dance, 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 dance. I'm gonna dance, dance, dance like nobody's watching me. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching. Don't really care if my rhythm's off, 'cause I'm gonna.
Thank you so much. My dog is so used to it, he's not even flinching over there. That's all I got for this session.
Oh my
Thank you so
gosh.
much.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know if I want to sit down. I'm glad none of you could see me on screen. That was good. Nobody was watching. But what emotion, not just from the actual music and the movements, but watching everyone's joyful faces, right? Of doing what you were doing. It was beautiful. And I can imagine if you watching us right now, listening to this, to drop into the chat if you also were dancing like nobody was watching, and if emotion bubbled up for you too. And let's bring back just really quickly our three family caregiver authors and have you actually share with us, how did that move you?
Well, I'll speak up. I'm like, so I'm sorry if I'm panting while I talk, but that was a lot of fun. I mean, I love to dance. I really do. I will dance around the house and be silly. My dogs will dance with me. The whole family thinks I'm crazy when I'm dancing around the house, but I I have fun with it. The other day, I was just randomly singing some Celine Dion song that I probably hadn't heard in 20 years, but it brought so much joy. And then the rest of the day, I kept hearing it in my head and just dancing in my soul, really. So thank you. That was fun.
It was a blast. Thank you.
So I have to say, I do a lot of the fun dancing. The last part, I do a lot of that. I do it when I'm cleaning. I do it all the time. I do it in the grocery store, in my car. I mean, But Michelle, I really liked the awareness that you brought to it's okay to be sad when you were talking about that. And I have not really ever taken a sad song and danced to it before. That was my very first time because in my brain, you know, the way that stereotypical everybody, oh, you don't want to be sad, you don't want to be sad. And I just have to say that I really enjoyed allowing myself to feel the sad music. And I like that you say, okay, it's okay. You have permission to be sad and to be able to use whatever means you need to release that sadness. So I thought that was absolutely amazing. Thank you.
I'm going to echo and piggyback on what Tanya said for just a second, because when you had that sad song on, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was Phantom of the Opera. Was it not? Like the
It
theme
wasn't.
from...
We don't have rights to
Oh
that
my
song.
gosh, no way. Okay, so that is so incredible to me because it conjured up not just emotion from the movements, but from memories of what is related to that song for me. So just on a whole different level, that was just beautiful. Thank you so much. And Michelle will be back. So will our family caregiver authors. But now we're going to go back to Patrick, who's got lots more for us in store. Patrick?
I'm going again. Yeah. Okay. So after seeing, by the way, Michelle said nobody was watching. I was watching all of you, and you look great. So it's inspired me to. I'm gonna tell a little story, and then we're gonna get up and we're gonna do some movement. But I had mentioned earlier in my talk earlier about posture, right? I said know your posture, study it, practice it, and so, and I'm sure Michelle agrees. It has the same experience. Our course, our paths are changed, are altered, are improved by the people we meet. By the questions we're asked. And I was in Pasadena doing this talk for a Parkinson's group. And I got done and I came down and this woman came up to me and she said, Patrick, I have Parkinson's. What's the most important part of my body? And I was like, I didn't have an answer for her. I really didn't. I didn't know how to answer that because I hadn't thought about it. And I probably never would have unless she asked me that. So I kind of went about thinking about what did she mean by that question? What answer could actually help? I mean, the first thing that might come to somebody's mind is the brain. You know, you have Parkinson's, your brain is probably pretty important. Your spine, you know, that's probably pretty important. But I started thinking, what answer would give someone the ability to move better, to have better balance, to activate and perceive their positioning better. So over the course of the years, I came to arrive at what I refer to as ground zero, the most important part of your body, which is, let me preface this by saying Parkinson's can affect parts of our body that are counterintuitive, that are hard for all humans, regardless if you have Parkinson's or not, to access, to feel, to perceive. You know, your internal structures, your spine, what's that? Your posterior structures, you can't see them. We're configured like predators. We got our eyes on the front here. We don't see what's behind us. But eventually, because of what happens with posture, I came to arrive at the most important reference point, the most important part of your body is the area directly between your shoulder blades, when your shoulder blades are together and down. So this is the stretch that I use all the time. I don't know what I did before. I brought this out before. This is the no money stretch. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you to go to this no money stretch. And what I'm doing is I'm externally rotating my upper arm, which is going to help my shoulder blades come together and down. And if you can seek out that position, which is so hard because there are not a lot of nerve endings that are activated when we're just sitting here. But if you can imagine referring to that place and that position from there, it brings you and keeps you up here and fixes so much stuff up here without us having to adjust it. And if you refer to your room and your surroundings with that reference of that ground zero, that position between your shoulder blades, Like I said, it keeps you up, it keeps you strong. So we're going to do a little experiment. I'm not going to do my whole posture lesson here. And I will if you want me to, but I want to seek out ground zero, and I want to do a little experiment that refers to what I talked about before, to facing the day with a strong posture. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to sit up again. Isn't this how we always start? Sit up tall in your chair and externally rotate those arms and see if you can pulse a little bit and see if you can draw your attention to the area between your shoulder blades. And then take a big breath in through the nose and exhale, and lower your hands to the tops of your knees, maintaining that tall posture. And I want you to speak out loud. If you're not comfortable doing it, you can whisper it or just think it. I'm certain, I'm centered, and I'm strong.
I'm certain.
Again, maybe a little quicker. I'm certain, I'm centered, and I'm strong. One more time. I'm certain, I'm centered, and I'm strong. Now, I want you to slump. Just even a little quarter-inch is all it takes. Try those words. I'm certain, I am centered. No friggin' way. You can't finish it. It just feels like I'm lying to you, or I'm trying to pull something off, right? And I go back to posture. Go to that ground zero. I'm certain, I'm centered, I'm strong. Give yourself a fist bump too, right? It works. It doesn't work when we're slouched. And I'm going to, before I get up and do my kind of routine here, we're going to make some noise. We're going to get some exercise. I'm going to show you something else that works. We're going to make a little mischief. We're going to open those hands up and, oh, look, I have found a pile of leaves. We're going to reach down and we're going to grab a pile of leaves in each hand, and we're going to fling them up over the fence onto your neighbor's lawn. As you release those leaves, you're going to flick your fingers. A couple more here. Turning the body. Let's let the arms fall down over here to the left and then up and across to the right. Flicking them. We're getting the body moving. We're beginning our exercise. 2 more. And now we're going to alternate. 1, 2. But this time we're going to reach down, grab the leaves, and fling them up overhead so they shower down upon us. And I want you to try those same words. I am certain, I am centered, and I'm strong. It works when we're in the act of working out or doing stuff that makes us better. Those words work there too. Okay, leave the leaves alone. That's good. Okay. So anyway, the point is, if we're active and we're pursuing and we're working and we're trying, you can be certain, centered, and strong. I'm certain of what I'm doing. I'm doing the right thing. I'm centered. I'm seeking to be centered, and I'm seeking to be strong. Knowing that you have that capability to face your days, the adversaries of the day, it allows you to be defiant in the face of adversity a little better by thinking about coming up strong. What's going on? I'm going to be strong for this. And you can feel it, right? It's internal and it's emotional. Okay, so now we're going to have a little bit of fun. It's getting a little dark out here, but I'm going to have us get up and we're going to do some movement. I want you to move, especially those online. We're going to be standing, so stay within your ability level. But we're going to make some noise as well. I call this bam, zap, and pow. And we're going to find ourselves, let me tilt this up a little bit, at the top of the mountain, working hard without even noticing we're trying to work harder. I'm going to add you, give some cues, that are going to conjure up more action from you. I want you to open your hands up so you feel that elasticity in the hands. Those are stored energy in your tendons and your ligaments and your soft tissues. We want to experience that as you step forward, cast those arms out. So every time you land those hands out there and land that foot, you can feel the springiness in your hand. So here's how we go. We're going to ramp it up. We're going to trick ourselves into moving bigger. But I need you to give yourself permission to be a little silly, to be a little crazy, a little zany, whatever it is. We're here to have some fun and work. Feel the springiness. I want you to land the front foot firmly out and back. I want you to navigate that foot back to a nice, safe, wide base of support. We're going to do some programming for posture as well right there. We're going to make the move punctuated by adding a slap to the leg. I want you to tell your brain to make the move athletic. Whatever that means to you, your brain's going to steer it. We're going to add our voice to this. We're going to use the word BAM, okay? But before we do it, I want you to think about what that word means to you. BAM. And I want whatever that meaning is, you to apply it to this move. Here we go. BAM, 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 BAM. One more. BAM.
Bam.
Swing those out side to side. Here we go. Second move is going to be a move out to the side. We're moving with momentum. Cast yourself. Use gravity to flow. It's your assistant. It's making you move bigger, gravity. So we're going to step out to the side, and we're going to throw those arms out. All these movements and directions are general. You can improvise. You can throw your arms a different way. Mix it up. Let it flow. Make the move athletic. Are you feeling the springiness every step? You must be. We're going to make it punctuated with a slap. That's it. We're going to electrify it. I want you to think of how it feels when you get shocked. I want you to think of a lightning bolt. We're going to use the word zap, and I want you to let the brain make the move zap, zap, zap,
Zap. Zap.
zap,
Zap. Zap.
zap,
Zap.
zap,
Zap.
zap, 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 zap. One more zap. Swing the arms from side to side. Let them flop against your side here. Big breath in. Notice your rate of respiration. Notice your heartbeat. We're sneaking up there, aren't we? Check your surroundings because we're going to be stepping backwards. Make sure you don't have a banana peel sitting there. Whatever happened to the banana peel? It used to be all over the cartoons. Everyone was slipping on banana peels, and then it just disappeared. Poor banana peel. Okay, we're going to step back, and we're going to launch our arms up into the sky like fireworks. Feeling that springiness. Open the hands up. We're going to make it punctuated by adding a slap to the legs. Bend down and launch those arms up. Fireworks are going to make the sound pow, 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 and pow, 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 and pow, 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 pow. One more. Pow. Swing the arms once more. Big breath in. I'm all about hard work, but if I can find a shortcut, a way to sneak out or coax out a little more, I'll do it, and that's what we're doing here. Okay, we're going to put the BAM Zap Pows together. Okay, and we're going to progress them. We'll take them slow. We're going to do one step for each, starting with the right leg and then the left leg, so we'll take it slow. So it's going to be out and back. Don't worry about the slaps. Let's get it established to the side. This was the zap move. And then the third was up overhead. Again, navigating the foot back to a wide base of support each time. Tell yourself to make the move athletic. Keep it going. Springiness. Yes, I hear someone slapping. We're going to do that next. Let's do it. You can go ahead and do it. I don't care. Punctuate it. Stomp.
Can't keep up.
Last layer, we're going to add the voice. Sing it with me now. Bam, bam, zap, zap, pow, pow, bam, bam, zap, zap, pow, pow. Observe yourself. Look at the performance. Look how hard you're moving. Look how fast. Look at the power. I'm certain. Centered. Strong. One more. Bam. Bam. Zap. Zap. Pow. Pow. Oh, big breath in. There is one more thing. Yes. One more thing. The face. We're going on the crazy train. We're going on the crazy train, and we got first class tickets, people. You're going to give yourself permission to go a little zany, going to get a little absurd, and it's going to be easy. Watch this. Everybody, big face. Ah, 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 breathe, make some noise. Ah, ah, and now frown. You gotta be kidding me with this stuff. Big breath in and release into a giant smile. Light up the room. All right? We're going to do this one more time, and then we're going to channel all this face energy into the Bam Zap house, and we're going to go nuts. Crazy train time. Big face. Ha. Breathe. Ah. Frown. Big breath in, release into a smile. You feel that radiate? You can feel that there. All right, crazy trains arrived. Let's hop on. 3, 2, 1. Bam, bam, zap, zap, pow, pow, bam, bam, zap,
Zap,
pow, pow, bam, zap, zap. Pow, one more. Bam, bam, zap.
bam, zap, zap.
Pow, pow. All right. Woo. See, you got yourself working intense, and we didn't even think about it. We just found ourselves at the top of the hill doing this crazy stuff. Oh. Okay. That's my Bam Zap Pow routine.
That was awesome. All right, if you're feeling with all this Bam Zap Pow, if you're feeling like a superhero, put pow in the chat. Okay, put pow in the chat. I know I am. That was fantastic. And ever since I heard Patrick use those words, I am certain, centered, and strong, and having have your posture aligned. It's been a game changer. So we are definitely going to be watching this replay over and over again. This has been great. So now we have got Michelle coming back to us. Are you ready, Michelle? We're going to do a little more an encore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. We're not going to do encore. We're going to do word prompts.
The word prompts. Yes.
Yeah. So I love that the feedback of not giving yourself permission to be sad. And that also goes along the lines with what Patrick was talking about just be positive. Like we are sad. We're humans. We're sad. We're happy. We're sexy. We're loving. We're jealous. We're all those things. So if we don't express them, they're just inside. So please play more music and play more sad music, play all kinds of music, because explore all your emotions. I think it's really important. I'm going to do something that I do in my classes a lot. And generally when we do this, we would do it in a circle. And it's the easiest way that I can come up with for non-dancers to actually choreograph an entire dance. This is something that you can do on your own and create your own dance, or with friends, or I do it in my group classes. But I just give word prompts. So I'll say we're going to start with your name and doing a movement to it. So that's as simple as it can get. More complicated would be choreographing to an entire song, which we'll talk about later. But oh my gosh, Wendy's poem. That is such a. I have a woman who is a poet and she loves dancing, and I had her read one of her poems, put movements to each line or new thought. Then she just strung them all together. I got rid of the poem, put music on, and it is so stunning to watch because it's personal to her. It's something that she came up with on her own. And when we create movements to something that is really personal, it makes it that much more meaningful and fulfilling for us. So one of these days, I would love to make a dance to that poem. It's beautiful. I don't know if we have time today, but I just want to start with, we're going to just go, is everybody going to be in this order, do you think, like on the screen the whole time? We're going to go me, Tanya, Wendy, Terry. Me, Tanya, Wendy, Terry. That way, when we do it in a circle, it's easy to remember, because if you can't remember the next step, you look at the face of the person and then you remember what they did. So I'm just going to keep it in that little circular order. So I have a really bad memory, surprisingly, for all the things I do. But I'm going to start with just putting, I'm going to say my name, then I'm going to put a movement to it. And it can be very pedestrian. I mean, what Patrick was doing, that could be a dance movement. Anything can be a dance movement. If you decide, like I noticed that I just did that. And then you could also change the intention of it. You could, if you're doing it to a slow song, maybe it would be that. It's a really simple gesture. I just did that, but it could be that. It could be strong. It could be like a multiple times. So any little movement you come up with, we're going to put this to music eventually, and we're going to change the feeling of the music. So even though the same movements are going to happen, you're going to jazz it up. If the music is jazzy, you're going to energize it up. You're going to slow it down based on whatever comes out musically. So I'm going to start with, and I'm going to say my name, do my movement. The next person is going to say their name, do their movement. And we're going to continue to either say the name or the next prompt, because it's nice to feel heard. That's why I like to do it in my class. Like, people feel like you know their name, you know what they're trying to convey, and it just is really special and personal. So I like to always repeat. So, okay, I'm going to go Michelle. And then everyone's going to do that. Follow me, and we're going to say Michelle all together, and then the movement. So, Michelle. Perfect. Now we're going to go to Tanya. Say your name, do a movement, and we're going to do it. Can we hear her?
Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go.
Okay. All right. We'll do it again. Tanya.
Tanya. So we're going to do that 4 times. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
Great. Okay. So, Michelle.
Tanya.
Great. Let's move on to Wendy.
Okay, Wendy.
Okay,
Wendy.
let's repeat hers first. Wendy.
Wendy.
Perfect. Let's string these together. Michelle.
Wow.
We do it all together. Tanya.
Tanya.
Wendy.
Terry, you're up.
Terry.
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 Perfect. Whew, let's put them all together. Michelle.
Michelle.
Tanya.
Tanya.
Wendy. Terry.
Terry.
Did I do that right? Perfect.
Uh-huh.
Let's do that one more time.
Michelle,
So,
Tanya,
Anya,
Wendy,
Wendy,
Terry.
Terry.
All right. We're going to go on. So now we're going to do, what is your best quality? And if you can't think of one, what would your best friend say your best quality is?
tenacity,
Creativity.
Joy.
Nice.
Joy.
Perfect. Okay, we're going to start with me again so it makes it easy to remember. Mine would probably be compassion. So I'm going to do, like I'm picking something up, and then hands together, and then out. I'm going to move back a little bit. Picking something up, turn the hands facing each other. Tanya, tenacity.
Oh, okay. It's kind of, this is a hard one for me to do, to try to think of a move that matches that. Let's see.
It doesn't have to match it. Remember, this is your move. It can be
Oh,
anything.
that's true. That's true. So
Love it. Let's do them both together. Compassion. Hands are going to face each other now. Swipe, swipe out. Tenacity. Show it again. There we go. Up, down, out. Perfect. Wendy, creative.
Yeah, so creativity.
Lovely. Creativity. Now I like to mess with the brain a little bit. We're going to go backwards. We're going to go creativity. Tenacity. Passion. All right, let's bring some joy. We'll do that 4 times. Love it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. We're going to do the names first into the favorite characteristics of ourselves. So, woo! Okay.
Michelle,
Tanya,
Tanya, Wendy,
Terry.
Terry.
Then we're going to do
compassion,
tenacity,
tenacity,
Creativity.
creativity, joy.
Great. Now we're going to do that without words. We're just going to do the movements. Ah! Here we go. Let's try to do that a little bit faster for our brains. And everybody's a little bit delayed for me. I'm just going to do it on my own timing and follow along as best you can. Wow. Do you want to do one more or is that enough? One more round? Let's do worst quality. Since we're going for the positive and the not so good stuff lately. I am going to do impatient with myself. I'm going to go 1, 2, either direction you want, 3, 4, and here. Impatient. Okay, Tanya, what's yours?
Procrastination.
Ooh, yes. Nice. Wendy, what's yours?
Yeah, mine's actually impatience too. So let me think of another movement. It's a very small movement. Just
Anything you want? Ah.
turning my fingers,
Mm-hmm.
not wanting to wait.
Did you want to do that twice?
One in each hand should be good.
Perfect. So we're going to start with first impatient. 1, 2, 4. Procrastination. Terry, what's yours?
Fearful. Did you hear me? Fearful.
Yeah, fearful. I
So
hear
mine
you.
would be
Nice. So we're bringing it in and then open and close. All right, let's try just the last go round. So we have impatient, procrastination, patient, and fearful. Awesome. We're going to run through this without any music, just once run through, and then we're going to put it to the music and change the style based on which music comes on. And if you don't remember the movement, it doesn't matter. We're just going with it. So you can follow somebody else in whatever they're doing. So, oh my goodness, here we go. What's yours, Tanya? Thank you. Nasty. Thank you.
oh yeah.
I should have said bad memory is one of my worst qualities. And impatient. All right, we're going to put on some music and we're going to do that. And I am not going to guarantee that I'm going to be perfect either. But we're just going to, if you can't remember it, do one of the moves that you remember and then catch up. That's what I'll be doing too. So we're going to put on the first song, which is, which song is it? There we go. Nice. Beautiful. We're going to put on a little bit of a faster song, and this one's going to be so hard because we have to remember it faster. Here we go. Let's try it. And you can add on to make it feel good. I'm doing it more than a couple times. Nice. All right, let's do it to one more song. I think this one's kind of like hopeful and dreamy. We'll just do it a few times. You guys are doing great. And change your movement however you want to move to this song. And here we go. Do the moves more than you want more than one time. Make it your own. I think that's the end of the song. Good job, you guys. That was amazing. So this is something that you can do with anything, literally anything. Your favorite people, moves that you know that they do added together. So you just created a full dance that you can do to any song. I think that's where I'll finish that.
That was great. You know what I loved so much about that? One, I wasn't on camera. That's one thing that I love. Two, I'm still stuck with Patrick and the ice cream and the cake and the pastrami and everything else, right? So I love that. But what I really love about that is we as caregivers, we can go ahead and do that for ourselves, right? Make up those routines to songs that we love based on those writing prompts about ourselves. What a gift, right? And if we are caring for someone, both of you have really shared with us, these are things we can even do with our care partners, right? But we're kind of prioritizing ourselves here. So how beautiful, both of you. This has been fantastic. And I just want to maybe take a second. Those of you in the chat, those of you watching us, if I hope that you were following along and you kind of found a little more balance, a little more flow. Drop into the chat. Let us know what your thoughts are about what you have heard, seen, played along with today. And then maybe we just go round robin and everyone give your one takeaway, like one thing that you really kind of got out of today's session, or that you want those watching to take away from today's All Work No Play Finding Flow session. Patrick, you want to go first?
Not really. I'm kidding. So, the 5 scoops of ice cream story I use to encourage people to, on occasion, if they need to, manufacture joy. And like I say, maybe not every once a week or maybe once whenever, but I think that the point I wanted to reemphasize is that really that when we were talking with my group and one of the persons says, I think it was actually Michelle. I mean, I think that you were talking about one of your clients was talking about he has that 1 hour a week that he just really looks forward to. And so when I say 5 scoops of ice cream every once in a while, every week, you need to find that that time for yourself. And I know it's hard. I'm sure it's hard to move away from, the routine and the things that you are relied upon to take care of. But you need to take care of yourself too, because you can't. It's part of the deal. It really needs to be. So I guess I hope that you don't have 5 scoops of ice cream every week, but you have one joyful hour every week, and that's what I would like to steer that message. And yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. Who would want to go next?
oh, you're giving them a choice.
Yep.
I'll go next. I think, for me, not feeling the overwhelm of guilt in wanting to take care of yourself and to be real and honest with yourself so that you can actually know what you need. And I think doing all of that does help create a really good balance. And like it says, a calm inside yourself. Maybe not outside all the time because it's not calm, but you can create a calm within yourself by doing these types of things.
Good one.
I think I really realized the importance of playing with other people because
Yeah.
this, I could do this by myself, like with the replay, but doing it with you guys, that's just super fun. And it makes it even more playful.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that, I was thinking before we started this event, I grabbed my mom's pen and I just set it next to me because I was like, I'm just going to have her with me in spirit. And all I was thinking the whole time was, oh my gosh, I wish she was here because we would have so much fun doing this dancing and creating a dance together. When she was in hospice, my sister and I would sing songs with her from our childhood. And even though she was not able to communicate in the end, she would start to mumble and like she was trying so hard to sing along. And so I just think that's such an important part, that joy of song and dance. So yeah, thank you. And I do love, Patrick, the 1 hour. I'm certainly going to implement that. So thank you for introducing that.
Yep.
Well, again, that's Michelle's. I just stole it, I think.
Oh,
I stole it from a student of mine because they come and they do this together. Like you were saying, it's so much more fun with other people. And they're like, this is my favorite hour of the week. So that's where I got it from as my student. And
Well,
it's so important. It's like,
I'll
what's
say
that?
it takes talent. I'll say it takes talent to recognize talent. So I'll take credit for it. Seeing how
My takeaways are giving yourself the permission and not feeling shame or bad for things because we have so much more to give when we have stuff to give. So I think giving the permission is so important because I know maybe some people are watching, they're like, I don't have time to do this. But I think Patrick talked about the posture and the I'm strong, that changes your physiology. And like, how long does that take? 30 seconds. Turning on a song takes a few minutes to listen to a song. So if nothing else, maybe just like say those positive things with your body in a strong position or listen to a song when you feel like you don't have any time at all. Because those things are just magic.
Yeah. That's wonderful. I will add to that. My takeaways are the power of both movement and stillness, right? So from the posture and even from, Wendy's poetry, right? The open hands and then this dance kind of thing. My husband's going to be surprised because tomorrow morning we are dancing. We're starting the day out with that for sure. But little does he know. So this was awesome. So what I want to do now is because we have just about 15 minutes. Michelle does have an encore for us, teaching us a little routine. So do we want to do that first or because are we all up for that? We good with that? And maybe are we okay with that? We'll do. So she's going to teach us a little routine And I am wondering, and Patrick, are you okay being on camera? We can maybe add one more if you want. I know you're in the dark there, but are you up to doing a little dance? We've missed the male partner in the dancing.
Oh, sure, of course.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna go away. And then the rest of you stay on.
How much
And
time do you
let's
want me to take?
You know what?
Do you want
Can
me to
you
take?
just like maybe take 5 minutes, 7 minutes? Is that
Absolutely.
possible? Okay.
Yeah,
And then we'll close
absolutely.
out.
Okay. So,
And we want everyone sorry, I just wanted to say we want everyone, who's watching, please, feel free to participate, get up, pay attention to what Michelle is going to be teaching us, because you can do it on your own or with whoever is in your life. It will be, I promise you, this will stick in your head. That's for sure, in your heart.
well, thank you for that introduction. I don't know if it will stick in your head quite as well as if we had the original song. Like someone was mentioning Uptown Funk they put on and you just can't not dance. If you have never seen John Batiste, Freedom, YouTube John Batiste Freedom, it is the most joyful, amazing video I've ever seen. And I was watching it and I thought, I have to teach this to my class. So I took all of the moves that they did and I just modified them so that we could do them. We have done it for so long. We have performed it over and over again. And I'm going to make a video teaching you this dance and then showing you the video of them doing it on stage. And then you'll get the real feel of it. But we'll just learn a couple of the movements to one of the refrains. Okay. So we're going to take, as Patrick said, we always start sitting up straight. We're going to take a big circular movement. It doesn't matter what. When I move my body just like, then I want you to make the most awkward pose you can with your tongue sticking out perhaps, like this. It makes me feel like freedom. So little steps and little, if you can't see me, little steps and circles. There we go. So when I move my body just like this, I don't know why, but it feels like free. I'm not a singer, dumb. Take your thumbs together. When I hear a song that takes me back, there's 4 of those, I let go. Your hands are already up and feel freedom. All right, from the beginning. Big circle. When I move my body just like this, I don't know why, but it feels like freedom. I hear a song that takes me back and I let go with so much freedom. Little lasso with a step with your feet. So here I am. I'm gonna get, there's 4 of those. And then it's like a little skip. If you were standing, it would be like this. But if you're in your chair, you can do this. So from the top, big circle. When I move my body just like this, I don't know why, but I feel like freedom. I hear a song that takes me back, and I let go with so much freedom. And now I'm gonna get, and it's the freedom. That's all we're gonna do. And we can do it once to this song that I have. It doesn't go to this song at all, but we'll make it work. Just do those moves. And if you forget what you're doing, do whatever you want. If this song makes you feel like doing something specific, then go off and do your own thing. This is your time. So I'm going to try to stick with these moves to the song we're going to play. And I think we have time. dog wanted to join.
Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. And I honestly, I'm not the only one, I'm sure, who loved the appearance of the animals, right? Patrick, you got a cat
Yes.
going around there, and then Michelle, you got a dog. That is, this was by far my favorite session. Not that I didn't love yesterday's, which was on identity. This one was great. Tomorrow's is on essential family caregiving and balancing the being your own advocate and your care partner's advocate. These are just getting better and better and better. And this one for sure, I bet people are going to watch it over and over again on the replay for sure. And what I want to bring up is first off, thanks to everyone here who participated. You guys are fantastic. The family caregiver authors, your stories are incredible. Remember, everyone, if you want an opportunity to be part of the random drawing, make sure you send us your screenshots of what you might have shared on social media, and we'll put you into that drawing to get a free book. For those of you who have not yet registered for the other sessions, know that will pop up the URL that you can do that. We have several more coming throughout the month. I will say this has been incredibly energizing and inspiring. And I mean, I can even just see from the looks on the family caregiver author faces that this is something you're going to carry through. And I bet people watching are going to carry through with this. So thank you to Patrick. Thank you to Michelle. And if we want to just bring up, yeah, that's what I was going to say, their contact information. Please feel free to reach out to them. We will be sending these slides as well in the replay. And I believe we're also going to be sending maybe that little kind of routine, that last one. I also want to let you know, if you go to the LACRC website, you can sign up for so many free resources that we offer. Um, Make sure there's the URL. You can sign up for our newsletter. We don't bombard you, but we do let you know when we have things like this going on that you don't want to miss. We also have support groups. And, Wendy, I think you were saying how much more fun it is when we're doing this together, right? Oh, Patrick, you're taking off? Okay. All right. But Wendy was saying, how much fun it is when we do all of this kind of stuff together. Couldn't agree more. Maybe we need a support group that actually has something to do with this, who knows, or incorporates it. We already have many, many support groups aligned with who you are as a caregiver and what you might be dealing with, right? So if it's a spouse, we have support groups for that. Make sure that you reach out to us in terms of how you can be a part of the support groups. You need to be a client, and there's a process for that. So also, what else did I want to say? If you go to our website and you look at the top bar, the navigation, there is a tab for events, and then there's a tab for the C.A.L.M events for all of November. So that'll let you know kind of what's happening soon. And I think that that's what I've got. I want to make sure that every single person on this call, on this session, every single person who has been watching us, listening to us, you matter. You matter, right? Not because you're a caregiver, not for any other reason, but because you are, right? You matter just for being. And we here at the Los Angeles Caregiver Resource Center, we are here to remind you of that. We are here to give you what you need, regardless of where you are in your caregiver journey, all to help you make your caregiver journey a little easier, right? So today was phenomenal. Michelle, again, thank you. Thank you, Terry, Tanya, Wendy, and everyone who's participated. Until we see you again, hopefully on the 13th with our next session, on behalf of USC and the Los Angeles Family Caregiver Resource Center, I'm Paulina Milana. I thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.